Hey all, so the most voted by far for this homework was 5.2 number 17, which was about parallel lines, and we are going to talk about that right now. But the idea of complementary and supplementary and congruent are all going to come up. So if you voted for one of the other ones, and a lot of these ideas will still hold true. So here we have parallel lines, which means that every one of these angles that's labeled here is either supplementary, meaning they add up to 180 degrees, or they're congruent, meaning that they're the same. So I'm going to just take my marker here, and if I'm looking at this drawing, all the ones that appear obtuse are congruent to each other. So everything that's in blue like that is congruent. And then everything that appears, and I'm saying appears because we have this 90-degree thing going on, acute are also going to be congruent. So as we move the lines, if the lines become sort of more slanted or more vertical, these angles and these positions are still going to remain the same as each other. So you can almost think of it like blinds. If you, like what you see behind me is as they tip and move, they stay parallel to each other, even though the individual angles, like in my drawing, it maybe looks like the angle is, 50 degrees here. If I look in the book, maybe the angle's a little bit different, but because they're parallel, I still know that like the reds are all the same, the blues are all the same. And red plus blue is 180 because they're supplementary. So then the question here is that if, as things tilt and shift, if M is 90 degrees, 5 is 90 degrees, so this one here, what is 2? Well, 5 plus 2 is 180 because they are supplements, angles. And so then if we know that the measure of angle 5 is 90, so if the picture looked like this, angle 5 is right here is 90, the angle right here is also 90. Because 90 plus angle 2 is 180, and if you subtract that away, that's also 90. So those are two different ways that you could reason it out. But the correct answer is 90 degrees. So hopefully that helps thinking about supplementary versus congruent, and you can ask yourself the same thing in many of these problems. Ask yourself, supplementary, do they add up to 180? Complementary, do they add up to 90? Or congruent, are they exactly the same? If you have more questions, feel free to nominate them in the form, or you can ask me in the comments, and I'll talk to you later.